So last night I got to watch episode 3 of The Acolyte, and it was about 4 a.m. I was ready to go to bed, and I seen that Disney Plus had released episode 3, and I just had to see it. I just couldn't go to bed. I just had to watch it because I needed to see for myself there and then what this episode was going to do to Star Wars, because all I'd seen for the past week online was that episode 3 was going to completely destroy Star Wars, and in my mind I could not fathom how or why this would be a thing. I couldn't believe it. I was like, surely not. Surely Disney and Lucasfilm are not going to allow someone else or anything else to come into Star Wars and totally destroy any of the lore, anything that George Lucas had made. Surely they learned their lessons from the mistake they made with Rian Johnson with The Last Jedi. I can't imagine there's going to be something that bad that's going to change Star Wars or destroy it. Well, how wrong was I? Now, would I go as far as to say that this episode destroys Star Wars forever? Probably not, but it's too difficult to say right now. I can see what's going to come in the next few days. Haven't watched any reviews yet, but I will be doing tonight. I can't wait to see what other people say, because for me, this episode was so bad. This was bad. This was really bad. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like, when it got towards the end of the show, I was sat up in bed going, what? Are you serious? This is so stupid. It makes no sense at all. This is so stupid. Who has written this? How has this been greenlit? What am I even watching? It was ridiculous. So let's get into this. So just a quick recap. Basically, this episode is set 16 years in the past. It's the origins story, basically, of the two twin sisters, Osha and May. It explains how they are alive, what's going on, why is May now chasing down all these Jedi and trying to kill them, why is this rivalry between the twins in the present day, what is going on. So we follow this coven of female witches that are on this planet called Boondock or something. I can't remember the name. Anyway, it more so follows these two witches who are lesbians. They're in a relationship, and one of them's managed to figure out how to use the Force to make babies with it, right? So she uses the Force. She impregnates her girlfriend or wife or whatever with two twin babies. She gives birth to Osha and May. That's how Osha and May are born. They're these now special superhuman beings that are really powerful with the Force, because I guess they are the Force. I don't really know, because it's not really explained. Well, it isn't explained yet. And I'm looking forward to seeing if they ever do explain it, because it just is a little bit like, what? Don't make any sense. I don't know if this is actually anything to do with... I don't know if this has happened before in Star Wars, in the lore, like in the comics or anything. I don't read them. I've only seen the movies and the TV shows, so you guys can let me know if this is a thing that the witches can do, or it's been known to be done before. I don't know, but I imagine not. The witches want to make these children into witches eventually, but then the Jedi come in, they step in, they know that the witches have these children, and the Jedi have been spying on the kids, so they know that they can use the Force, so they want to train them to become Jedis, so they put them through multiple different Jedi training tests, exams, or whatever, to see if they are, able to become Jedi. May doesn't want to become a Jedi. She wants to stay a witch, because she just got turned into a witch, actually, just before the Jedi came. But Osha is the opposite. She wants to become a Jedi and break away and go and explore the galaxy. So May purposely fails the test, where Osha completes the test to become a Jedi. They accept her in to become a Padawan, and then this is what causes the friction between Osha and May, because May is getting really upset and pissed off with her, because she wants her to stay with her forever and be a witch and basically do everything that she does, where Osha doesn't want to do that. So then this causes them to have a fallout. May gets really annoyed. Osha goes back to her cave, her underground cavern stone cave, bear in mind. She goes and packs her bags. She's got a Jedi book in her hand. May bursts into the room. She starts confronting Osha, shouting at her, saying that if she leaves, she's going to try and kill her. This is where everything starts to get absolutely even more stupid, but beyond stupid. For me, this part was absolutely a joke. It was ridiculous how this was even written, how this was done. It was so bad. Like, this was really, really bad. I couldn't believe it. The whole way through this end part, I was sat up in bed going, what? How? This makes no sense. Like, what is going on? How does this make any sense? May locks Osha into this bedroom with a massive, thick, metal space door. Gets the book, the Jedi book. She steals it from Osha. She finds this lantern with fire outside the door. She sets fire to the book, throws them both on the floor, and then all of a sudden, within moments, this whole cave door, this metal door, is all on fire. So Osha then is trying to escape the room. She finds some device. She unlocks this little hatch. She crawls through this hatch into this massive cavern with all this industrial machinery hanging about, and everything within moments is blowing up. Like, everything's on fire and exploding. It made zero sense. I was thinking, how the hell is that doing that? Like, what's going on? Is something else happening? I don't know, but it looks like all that's happened is May's created a fire downstairs, underground in this mountain cave, and somehow the whole mountain's blowing up and exploding. Like, what has happened? Anyway, Osha runs away. She tries to escape. She ends up on this metal bridge that's been broken in half by, I imagine they're trying to say that the mountains collapsed and fell through it and broken it. Obviously, that's what they're trying to say, but how the hell is this mountain collapsing? It makes no sense. Nothing's happened apart from a little fire in a cave underground, in a stone cavern underground, but somehow the whole mountain is collapsing and it's blowing up, it's on fire. It was ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. I was so confused. But anyway, Osha and May, they meet up on this metal bridge. The metal bridge collapses. May falls down to what would seem like her death, and then Sol, just in the nick of time, comes in and rescues Osha. Then they start to evacuate the mountain, but as they're running through it, we're getting shown bodies of all these witches that are dead. Every single witch, everyone's dead. Like, everyone is dead, and I do not understand how or why. It was so stupid. It made no sense. It's not like you see these witches underneath like a big boulder of mountain that's collapsed on them. No, they're just they're all piled up, dead. Every one of them is absolutely gone, dead, and there's no explanation why, because these witches are really powerful witches. They can use the Force. They are so strong. Not only the Force, they have witchcraft and magic and all this stuff that they could do to try and maybe, if the mountain was collapsing, I'm sure that they could all hold it up with the Force. They could maybe create some sort of portal, or there's billions of different ways you could come up with how they would escape. But no, they're all dead. But there isn't like fires that are on, there isn't like areas and full room that's exploding, and that's how they're all dead. They're all just lying about in massive open cavern rooms with no destruction of boulders on top of them or anything. And Sol, bear in mind, Sol has managed to run into the mountain and run back out with Osha totally fine. There's no destruction that's blocking the path. There's no collapse of anything. They're just in and out and they're totally fine, but yet every single person's dead. So for me, I just couldn't believe this. I was like, what the hell is going on? There is no explanation. This is stupid. Then they get away. They get onto the spaceship, Sol and Osha. Now she's unconscious somehow. I don't know how, because nothing happened to her. She was fine. She escaped. She didn't get injured by the looks of it. But somehow she's unconscious. She wakes up. She starts crying, asking for her sister and her mum, and Sol is confiding into her and comforting her and tells her, unfortunately, there's nothing left back there. The whole mountain's gone. The whole mountain's destroyed. I mean, we got to see it. The whole mountain blowing up. The whole mountain's on fire. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. Imagine setting a fire in a cave thousands of feet down underneath the top of the mountain, but then moments later the whole mountain's actually blowing up and collapsing and everything. It was so bad. Like, this part was so bad. So yeah, I mean, this whole ending for me was absolutely ridiculous. It was so stupid. It made no sense. I hope that they have another episode to explain how all the witches died and how the mountain collapsed. Maybe there's something else that happened that we haven't seen yet. That would be good if we got some sort of other thing that created all this, because right now they're just trying to make out as if May did it. Well, it seems that way anyway, and if that's the case, then it's absolutely stupid. There were some other things in this episode that just didn't feel right. It took me out of the experience and it didn't land. With the witches being lesbians, I don't care about that. It's fine, totally fine. And to be honest, for me, it kind of makes sense. There's a whole group of these witches who are living together in this mountain for however long witches live for, but there's no males around. Of course, there's probably going to be some lesbians. Like, it makes sense, you know. I mean, why would you not be? But like, that's fine. It's totally fine by me. The thing that makes me feel a bit like, oh, for God's sake, and takes me out of it, is when I feel like they're forcing messages from the real world into the show. And this episode felt like there was quite a lot of dialogue that felt like they were trying to put messages about how it is to be gay and putting it into these characters, and it just never came across authentic to me or genuine. It took me out of the experience, and I was like, oh, for God's sake. Yeah, it just didn't feel right. And I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they can't just stick to writing a really good story, really good characters. We've already established that these women are lesbians. Fine. I just felt like some of the dialogue was really sort of thrown in there to sort of put messages across about how it is to be gay and put it in that. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how it came. That's how it came across to me. That's just how I personally felt watching it. I was like, it just feels forced, and that does take you out of it. It just wasn't for me this episode at all. It just felt all over the place. It was weird. There was some witch ceremony where they're trying to ascend, and they're all like, they're saying all these chants, and then it's becoming part of this like song. It was almost like a musical part. It was weird. It just felt weird. The whole thing felt weird. Oh God. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next. I will keep watching this episode, this show. I aren't interested now, really. I feel like this episode's kind of just gone, all right, well, this is a load of bollocks. So, yeah, it's a shame, man, because I was kind of on the side of wanting to defend it a bit before this show came out. I didn't like how much criticism and hate it was getting before it had been given a chance. I gave it a chance with an open mind. I enjoyed the first 2 episodes, but now after seeing this, I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, this is actually pretty bad. So I don't know what's going to happen from here. Hopefully they can somehow bring it back. I hope we get some explanation into all of it, how they created babies from the Force. I want to see how the witches died and how the mountain collapsed. If there's no explanation onto that, then this is just absolute shocker. And I don't think we're going to get it. I don't think we are. But that's my thoughts on this episode. I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know below. And for me, if I was to give this episode a rating, I would literally probably have to give it a 2 out of 10. Look, some things were still cool, you know, I liked seeing the Jedi in this way. There is some new stuff. I am enjoying seeing new things and Star Wars in a new way, like different time period, different characters. I loved seeing Kal Naka the Wookiee. Thought that was really cool. It made me feel a bit like, oh, this is Star Wars. Some of the shots are cool. The special effects are okay in areas. Some of it was terrible as well. You know, some of the cinematography and the set pieces and stuff, they're all still pretty good. But yeah, that was it. So I can't give it any more than a 2. It was a terrible episode. Let's hope that somehow they can turn it around and make it at least half decent again. But we'll have to wait and see. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review and my thoughts and maybe a bit of a rant about the whole thing. I'd love to know what you guys think, so please let me know down below. Drop me a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you are new here, hit that subscribe. That would be amazing. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next one.